Hi everyone! Welcome to today's video on topic sentences. My name is Emily and I am the team leader at the Writing Center at the University of Texas at Dallas. I think topic sentences are a super important aspect of writing. They serve as kind of the backbone of individual paragraphs. And so with that, I'm super excited to get into all of the details of how to write an effective topic sentence. So first, what do we want to accomplish in a topic sentence? Basically, it should tell your reader what to expect in each paragraph. It should give the main takeaway without needing to read the whole paragraph. It should not be too general or too specific, and it should transition smoothly from the previous paragraph. So I think in order to conceptualize these different ideas, it's helpful to see some examples. So let's imagine we're writing an essay about how to write an essay. Pretty meta, I know. Let's say we have a paragraph about how to write a thesis statement, and the next paragraph we want to write is about topic sentences. What are some things that could go wrong when trying to create this topic sentence? Well, let's find out. So, one thing that can happen is we can be too general. That won't necessarily make the worst topic sentence, but it won't be as helpful as it could be to the reader to help guide their comprehension and make it easy for them to sort of absorb and understand your points. So let's say I wrote, other than the thesis, there are some important elements of an essay to consider. Is this a bad topic sentence? No, but could we be more specific than saying there are some important elements to consider and tell the reader in this paragraph, particularly the element I'm going to be talking about is topic sentences? I think that could be helpful. However, it's easy to have too much of a good thing. If we get too specific, we might have something like, beyond the thesis, topic sentences are an important part of an essay because they tell the reader what to expect from the paragraph, giving the reader the main idea of that paragraph without the need to read the whole paragraph to understand it, all while transitioning smoothly from the previous paragraph, but without being too specific. That is one lengthy topic sentence, and it gives the reader more details than we really need to know. If the reader knows that we are going from the thesis paragraph and now starting a new paragraph about topic sentences and explaining that they're an important part of the essay and a general idea of why, then that's enough. We don't have to give every single reason they're important just yet. Another thing we can do is forget to transition. Remember, in this example, we are coming off of a paragraph about thesis statements, and so it's a good idea to let the reader know that this next paragraph isn't just an extension of that idea, it's a new subject in and of itself. So let's say I wrote, topic sentences are an important part of the essay because they help set a reader's expectations for the paragraph, guiding their comprehension. That's not a bad topic sentence at all. In fact, it's a good amount of detail, and it helps give the reader the main point of what I'm going to say in the paragraph. But remember, we're coming off of a paragraph about the thesis statement, so we should, again, guide the reader to understand that we are coming from one place and moving to another without just jumping abruptly. And lastly, one thing I sometimes see is topic sentences that aren't quite on task. So for instance, if I wrote, as you can see, the thesis is the most central aspect of the essay, outlining the main points and guiding the overall direction of the paper. Well, yes, that's all very true, but this sentence serves to summarize the previous paragraph I wrote in this hypothetical example about the thesis statement. It doesn't really introduce the next subject of topic sentences. So I think sometimes people are tempted to conclude the previous paragraph as a way to start the next one, but that can be a little confusing when the rest of the paragraph isn't really about the same thing as that first sentence. So how do we fix some of these issues? Well, keep those good transitions from the first couple of examples. Saying things like beyond the thesis, other than the thesis, really helps guide the reader from one topic to the next. Additionally, give the overall takeaway and not each supporting detail. In that one example where I said topic sentences are important because they establish the reader's expectations of each paragraph and guide their comprehension, that's a good amount of detail. I'm telling the reader that this paragraph will be about topic sentences and the general idea of why they're important and what their role is. And lastly, make sure it's on topic. Sometimes we're trying so hard to transition that we forget to talk about the new material because we get caught up in concluding the old material from the previous paragraph. So let's do some practice. At this point, I encourage you to pause the video, get out a piece of paper and a pen or your laptop, your phone, a tablet, whatever, and work along with me. So for instance, let's say we're writing a pretend essay about nutrition. I want to write about the importance of whole grains, the importance of protein, and the different types of healthy and unhealthy fats. And here are some general points about them. So how would I create a topic sentence for each of these paragraphs? And again, I encourage you to pause the video at this point and come up with some examples, and then on the next slide you can compare them to what I came up with. And there's no singular right answer, so if they aren't the exact same, please don't worry about that. Just try to see if you have all of the different elements of a topic sentence. Okay, so for my examples, what I wrote for each paragraph is as follows. So for whole grains, I wrote, whole grains are one important aspect of a healthy, balanced diet because they supply plenty of fiber. So because this is my first body paragraph, you don't have as much of that transition from a previous body paragraph to include, but I write that they're important, they supply fiber. Not really going into all of the details of why fiber specifically is important, because again, those are details I can get into later, but I'm guiding the reader to understand the overall point here. The next example, I do add that transition, beyond fiber, ... etc. That is a really great way to start off a topic sentence. Next, I say, proteins also contribute to a healthy diet by moderating hunger signals and acting as important biological building blocks. Again, you know the main points I'm trying to make here, you know why proteins are important, but I'm not explaining all of the details of how this all works just yet. Lastly, with healthy and unhealthy fats, I say, when it comes to fats, a healthy intake depends not only on the quantity, but also on the quality. While unsaturated fats are heart healthy and keep you full for longer, saturated fats can pose several health risks. So this is a point that I wanted to touch on because sometimes I don't always think students know this. A topic sentence can be topic sentences, if that makes sense. You don't want it being too lengthy because, again, then people have to read a lot more before they understand the point you're trying to get to. But in this case, I have two shorter sentences because putting them together would make a really long sentence that also impedes comprehension. So those are just some points to keep in mind. And again, if you followed along with this exercise and came up with your own versions, then I encourage you to compare yours to mine. What do you like better about your topic sentences? What do you like better about mine? Are there things that you think we could all do differently with this example in hindsight? And yeah. So if you're stuck, then I recommend this strategy for students because it can be kind of difficult to get something on paper. So first, write everything down. Don't worry about getting it perfect to start with, just kind of write a stream of consciousness collection of your ideas, just to get it out of your head and onto paper. At that point, you can kind of put all of your related information together. So let's say use highlighting, underlining, different colors, etc. to kind of organize your different points. Like this information should go in this paragraph. This kind of goes with this. That should be its own paragraph, etc. And then lastly, once you've kind of grouped different pieces of information together, you can be like, what is all of this stuff really saying? And based on those different groups of information, write a topic sentence for what will eventually become your paragraphs. So that brings us to pretty much the end of the presentation, and just some closing remarks. Again, topic sentences are the backbone of each paragraph, so make them count. They should be specific enough to give the main idea, but they shouldn't give away all of the details. And lastly, you should make sure your topic sentence describes the current paragraph accurately. It's important to transition, of course, but don't use the whole sentence to summarize that last paragraph and ignore the current one. And of course, if you're stuck, don't worry about perfection to start out. Just get your ideas on paper and work your way to a good topic sentence. So thank you so much for watching the video with me today and learning something new. I hope you find it helpful. And if you're watching this as a UTD student, of course, if you would ever need help, please stop by to see us at the Writing Center in the basement of the McDermott Library. We always love seeing you. Bye!